nothing happening on this end, so we're scanning and we're looking at AIKI. Liking this one for the pattern that it's forming. So this one gapped up and then it made a nice move, kept above the VWAP, made a nice move up here and then sold off, broke below the VWAP, and now it went above the VWAP again, bounced off again. We want to see if it's actually going to hold it. And relative to this pivot here, this one printed a new higher low. So you can see here by the trend. And now it looks like we may anticipate a break above not only the top of this one pivot here at 89, but also this pivot here at 91, if the volume comes in correctly. If the volume comes in right, you may have an opportunity in your hands. This stock has a free float of 32.96 million, and the volume for today is 109.97 million. On average, it trades at 8.1 million shares. That's an average of 3 months, so possibly there might be a chance here. There it is, testing again the 88 and 89s. Want to look at the level 2 there. Want to be able to see 91, 92. There's 92. There's that break of 91, which is great to see. I want to see if it pulls back here towards 91. Sent out our order, but it's not popping out. This thing is really slow. There it is, finally. Jesus, thing lags too. Submit the orders. Most importantly, recognizing the trend, our stop loss is right at the bottom of this 5-minute candle. So if the stock was to make a reversal back down and break below that previously broken resistance, then we would get stopped out there. This looks like there'll be resistance at 96, as shown here by this rejection there, top and tail. And also at the $2 mark, there's going to be a resistance there. May retest the 91 again. New 5-minute candle there printed. It's now 11 a.m. here on the West Coast. And what we're looking for is, if it doesn't move up right now, as of the moment, we are looking for it to bounce off of this support here at 91. Or even possibly, if it doesn't hold at 91, it could possibly bounce off this ascending support there. It's frozen again. Oh, no. It's not cool. The price is at 194 and it's not showing it here. That is not freaking cool. I'm gonna shut everything down and restart it. Let's try this again. Had to restart the app. I literally had to restart the app in order to have it up and working again. But we have to see if it's not going to freeze once again. Just 5 cents away from our target, and we know that there's a big ask there at 2. Not ass, ask. There's a big ask there at 2. But here we are, still showing up, and 4 cents away. We're reaching that $2. We'll see if there's a huge rejection, perhaps. And also right here, we know that there's a rejection at around 203. So we know that rejection at 2 is quite large. So it has grown a little more by over 30,000 shares. It looks like the buyers want to take another stab at it. Based on the fact that it broke above this 96. Now if the charts lag, we're going to keep our eye on the tick by tick, the time in sales, as well as the level 2, and hopefully those are more accurately describing what is happening with the price action at that very moment, since our charts continue to freeze here and there even after the update. There it is. Gonna try to take another stab at 96 and 97. Definitely if it stabs 98 and 99 and breaks above 2, will be good. There goes 2. We start seeing a big buyer there at 2. That's good to see. Definitely a lot of resistance there at 2. One more stab at 2 and we should break through. If it doesn't break through, it's gonna come back down. I mean, it could still possibly come back down towards 94, even 91 possibly. New 5-minute candle there. If it gets tired up there at 99 and at 2, we don't get that break, we could possibly see the sellers taking over for sure and the stock falling down. The ask at 2 is still at 71.2. There it is. Nice. There's that resistance. It's going to hit at 2.3. If it breaks above that, it's going to have a nice move up. But based on the 5-minute chart, it does look like it needs it's crying out for a pullback based on the price action there around 2, not wanting to break it and having huge resistance, 1. And also number 2, 5-minute chart looks kind of extended. 3, this on the 1 minute, you can see on the 1 minute you can see evidently rejection there from 205. Also 4, based on this resistance level there, right after it sold off, it tried to make a bounce back up, but there was a resistance there at 203, and then after that it couldn't make any more higher highs and sold off until now. We played this move here. So just a quick recap, we traded AIKI today. AIKI has a free float of 32.96, has humongous relative volume, has volume for today printed at 117.9 million shares on average. On a 3-month average, it's at 8.1 million, so definitely high relative volume, and it's a medium float stock. However, seeing that nothing else was being shown out today, we decided to take this trade based on the pattern. And let me explain that pattern. So this stock, if you look at the 5-minute chart, gapped up from around 120 to around 140. So it gapped up 20 cents, right? 20 cents doesn't seem like much. However, if you look at percentages, I mean, it's around 13%. So upon market open, it went down a little bit by 10 cents, then it moved up, and it kept dancing around the VWAP, breaking above and below it. Then around here, around 720, it finally broke above the VWAP, evidently with a little higher volume there. And then it kept moving upwards even more with more higher volume. And then it kind of left more space between the price and the VWAP. So it kept squeezing up, finally reaching resistance here at 215, where it sold off. And then the first attempt for it to move back up, it failed, and after that fail, it continued to sell down, finally breaking below the VWAP once again. And right here, it found the bottom at around 169. There's a double bottom there on the 5-minute chart. After that, printed a new 5-minute candle high, and then slowly began forming this ascending support pattern there, just printing new higher lows, and then an increase in volume as seen here, a little pullback there towards the VWAP but not breaking below it. Finally, good thing we caught it by scanning. We were scanning the list and we noticed this pattern forming there, so I had to read the entire price action for the morning in order to come to this conclusion that this would be probably a good trade. So you can see there at 202, there's a huge resistance now for sure. I don't think it's going to get above 203 anymore, right? So I think we're out of the trade now. So yeah, anyways, back to this. It finally printed a nice higher high right here relative to this pivot there, and then went back to the VWAP. So here we were looking for the break of this higher high at 191. Once we got it, we added for the pullback back towards 191 in anticipation of it moving upwards, of course, obviously, right? But also holding that 191. It did give us a little trouble, not only on the price action, it went below 191 all the way to 187, 188, but we did manage to keep our cool because we know that there's ascending support there, and that break was a pretty strong break in regards to volume. And pretty sure, since nothing else is going on, many traders looked at this pattern and anticipated that move as well, causing the stock to go up. But there was major resistance here at around 203, so our take profit was 1 cent below that at 201. It did manage to break above 203 by 2 cents, but obviously that's a false breakout considering that the stock had already been overextended and there was major resistance even getting towards the $2 mark. A lot of sellers, short sellers there, ready to sell this thing short or sell their positions that maybe the bag holders up here had been holding, right? So there's buyers here that bought super high and they're still holding the bag. So once the price got here, they're like, oh shit, I'm break even, I'm selling, right? Our psychology there involved. So overall, I'm happy with this trade. However, the platform did have issues where we had to restart the damn thing, and it was not nerve-wracking though, because I mean it's barely 11. Had it been closer to 1 p.m. here on the West Coast, I would have been maybe sweating a little more, right? But it is what it is. I mean, I thought Webull had already fixed their issues with that update, the most recent update. But I guess I was wrong. The fill took long. I mean, I threw out my order and it took about 10 seconds for the order to even show up. And finally, when it shows up, the freaking the charts freeze, and you can see here on the time and sales, the price was actually moving, but on the charts, the price was stagnant for some reason. But it is what it is, right? It's best to remain calm in order to remain objective and plan the next move when things go south. Like people here who bought thinking it was going to break above 2 farther than they actually did. There's a lot of sellers lined up at 202, so they're pretty much stuck there. They either had to cut their losses or wait like the other bag holders over here, but that's never a good thing to do, right? So alright folks, that's it for me. Finally was able to take a trade. As you can see, there's a new setup involved. I was trying different methods of different formats for the page to work for me. I know I had the time and sales and the level 2s up here at some point, but it didn't work for me visually. So that's another thing to consider, is to know yourself. I know that having the time and sales and the level 2 here closer to my other monitor, which is down here on this side, is better than having the time and sales way up there, for me at least. And especially since the time and sales and the level 2 are right next to the 1 minute chart for me visually, that's better. Also having the 5 minute chart close to this area is also visually appealing for me too. The 2 minute chart is just an extra. You can see there has an EMA, 12 period EMA, also has the VWAP, and the 15 minute chart definitely very helpful for whatchamacallit, analyzing. Yeah, the 15 minute chart's very helpful for analyzing more of the wider spectrum of the price action. So anyways, that's it for me folks. Now it's selling off. Good thing we're out, and thanks for watching everyone. Be safe out there. Bye.